everyone. Thank you so much for joining us again on the Buzzworthy Women Podcast. Today's guest is Patty Block, a business expert who has been helping women business owners since 2006. She fine-tunes their operations and boosts revenue. In her best-selling book, Your Hidden Advantage, Patty shares practical solutions to help women run their business confidently and profitably. With her background in business advising, entrepreneurship, lobbying, and nonprofit work, Patty knows how to turn challenges into success for women-owned businesses. Patty, welcome on the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit more about you. So I did kind of the strategic, intro, but who are you and what do you do?
Well, probably the most important thing to know about me is that have been a single mom of 3 young adults since my youngest was 2 and he just turned 31. So I have raised my kids to be good humans, which they are, and now they're all 3 business owners.
Oh,
so
that's amazing.
They help me. We all have complementary businesses. We didn't necessarily plan it that way, but they help me in my business and I help them in theirs. So it's so gratifying to me that they are such good humans in healthy relationships and now are serving other small business owners. So that's a fundamental piece for me, is the importance of my family, including my extended family, my siblings and my parents. And so what I do when I work with women and why I'm so passionate about helping women business owners is because I had a company that focused on political consulting and lobbying many years ago. And when my children were very small. And all of a sudden, I'm 35 years old. I have a thriving business that I've built over 8 years and 3 little kids at home and a surprise divorce.
Oh, wow.
And first of all, I was so shocked at the whole situation, but quickly realized I needed to stop traveling and be home to stabilize things for the kids. And I also needed health insurance. So I didn't have the luxury of time. And also I wouldn't have known how to sell my company. So I closed the doors, got a job, worked at an international school as director of development and then director of operations for a little over 8 years, and always knew I was going to start my company again. But the fire was now lit in terms of wanting to be that resource for other women business owners who are experiencing all the challenges that we do as wives, mothers, siblings. There's just so much that we're called upon to give and share. And so that is how I've built my business. One of the things I focus on now, in addition to helping women generate more revenue with less stress, is I focus on helping women position their company so when they're ready to exit, they have built the value and that becomes a wealth building tool.
That's amazing. So what are some of the most common challenges that you see women in business face?
One of the biggest is with pricing. In what we believe fundamentally about ourselves, about our buyers, about the marketplace in general. Lots of myths like pricing based on what the market can bear, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And I don't believe there's any such thing. There is no such thing as what the market can bear. If you believe that every buyer has a price point. And we see that everywhere. We see that in retail. We see it in all kinds of service industries. So, there might be 3 different types of stores, like a Walmart, Macy's, and a Neiman Marcus, and you can buy a blouse in all 3 stores.
Right.
But which woman shops in which store depends on how much money she can spend and what she thinks is important.
Yeah.
And so that's true of every buyer. And yet we're not really taught how to look at it that way.
Yeah.
So pricing is a huge problem. And I have what I call the broken cookie effect. When I was growing up, my mom made these fabulous cookies. The whole house smelled good. It was warm. The cookies were gooey. And all my life, I watched my mom eat the broken cookies. But it wasn't until I was a teenager that I even thought to ask her, why do you only eat the broken cookies? Do they taste better? And she laughed and said, no, I eat the broken cookies so you can have the whole ones. And several years ago, when I was struggling to put words around this really pervasive pattern that I've seen in the decades that I've worked with women business owners, that memory came rushing back. And I thought, that's what we as women are doing in our businesses. We are putting everybody else first. And we're eating the broken cookies. And where I see that a lot is we undervalue ourselves, we underprice our services, and we overdeliver.
Yes.
So our profit goes poof.
Yeah.
And everybody else, our clients, our staff, our families, everybody gets the whole cookie, and we live on crumbs. And that's what I call the broken cookie effect. It is extremely pervasive. And that's also why I wrote the book, Your Hidden Advantage, because I wanted to get that message out to outline the myths, talk about how you can shift your thinking, and then how do you actually attract right fit clients and price appropriately and communicate that well in an assertive way that it gets your message out, but doesn't feel terrible when you're doing it, right?
Right.
That was the reason I wrote Your Hidden Advantage, because I felt as though I wanted to reach a broader audience and help more women business owners to understand the dynamic of the broken cookie effect.
I absolutely love that analogy, because until you say the broken cookie and you asked your mom, why do you only eat the broken cookies? It tastes better. It's so interesting that because you can visualize that exact thing, right? And how you apply that to business is phenomenal, because it's so true. Women, and obviously I'm a female business owner and entrepreneur myself. So I've been in this situation where you put other people first. You put the businesses, the clients first before yourself. And like you said, we undervalue ourselves so much. And I don't know why that is, and how we move forward with that, because we're in an environment now where women are becoming more powerful leaders and more known as entrepreneurs and business owners. So it's not like 10, 20 years ago when that wasn't very common. Now we're kind of breaking through our own, barriers to get through the, internal blockage of why we have those struggles. So I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
Well, I think you're exactly right. It is an internal struggle. It's not so much that we're oppressed. I really don't think that. I think women have every opportunity that men do. Even in male-dominated fields, women are making great strides. So I think we have those opportunities. We may not take those opportunities. And we may actually not see them as opportunities. And I think all of that is how we're raised, how we think, how we operate. I wish I could say it was generational. But I have a daughter who's in her 30s, and she often undervalues herself. And she and I have had those conversations about pricing for her business. And in fact, I was so proud of her because I had asked her for a proposal for my company, and she owns a digital marketing company. So she sent me the proposal. We had talked about it. She sent it to me. I just felt like standing up and cheering because I couldn't afford her.
That's awesome.
It was awesome. And I called her. I said, I am so proud of you. I cannot afford to work with you. But I helped her find people who can afford to work with her at that level, and also would benefit from everything she was providing. What she was providing was really more than I needed. And so we talked a little bit about lowering the scope, but the overreaching concept was that she started to understand her value and what her buyers think are valuable. Often we miss that. We think that we're the arbiter of what is valuable to our clients. And if you start asking your clients, they will actually surprise you. and
Yeah.
share with you. And I don't know if you've ever done that with your clients.
Yes, definitely.
Have you?
Yeah, of
So
course.
you ask them for feedback, you ask them for what's valuable. It's interesting. I've had that experience where people have said that because I'm calm, I have a very calming voice and a calm demeanor. And I would never have thought that that
Right.
was
Yeah.
valuable to my clients, but it is. And what they've said is, I know that I can call you and I may be completely freaked out, but you're going to share a different perspective and you're going to help me calm down and regain some perspective so that I can make a good decision. So
Yeah.
they find that very valuable. And I'm grateful for that. But again, I wouldn't have thought to mark that down
As
as
a
a
value.
valuable asset.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's usually not what you're expecting, right? You as the business owner or the person who's putting the proposal together sees value in something that may be completely different from the consumer or client that you're working with. So you have to ask those questions. You have to find out what's important to them, what's valuable, and what it is that they need, because that's how you're going to align your business, your offer, your services to match the needs of the client.
Exactly. And um, until you have those honest conversations, you really don't know. You're
Yeah.
guessing, you're making
Right.
assumptions, but you really don't know until you start asking. And
Yeah.
then you have to accept what they're saying. I think one of the problems too is I work only with women business owners, and I work with women who are experts in their fields. So a lot of accountants, attorneys, marketing professionals, engineers, and we make the mistake of thinking that all of our value is tied up in the service, in
Mm,
our education, in our experience.
interesting.
And
Yeah.
all of those things are very valuable, but there are 5 million other service providers out there who have similar credentials
Yes.
or experience. And so, what is it that makes us different and valuable to our clients?
Yes. And do you work with your clients to help them kind of pull out what those value pieces are, or what those unique aspects of who they are in their business?
Definitely. And that actually is what I mean by your hidden advantage.
I love
Is
it.
what is your advantage that is different from
Yeah.
others in your field or other small business owners? What makes you different, not just you as a person, but you as a
Right.
company? And so, yes, that's what the book is meant to do, is to help you find
Love
your
it.
hidden advantage and to unlock it so that you
Yeah.
really are going to find those opportunities and those right fit clients
Mm,
and then price appropriately so that you are profitable. The
right.
other part of the answer to that question of, is that the work that I do, is I also help women build real business value. And what I mean by that is you have value that's locked inside your business. And you can unlock it at some point if you choose to sell your business, or you might want to pass it to a family member or to your staff. You might want to sell it to your employees. So there's
Yeah.
lots of different ways you can exit your company. And that takes preparation and intention. And
Yes.
that means figuring out what your business assets are and intentionally building them over time so that by the time you are ready to exit or make some kind of transition, there is real money to be made.
And what's the time frame that you usually tell the business owners that to start thinking about that elegant exit? I believe you call it, right?
I do. Yes, it's an elegant exit. And that is focused very much on your legacy and your impact and wealth building. Those are the three pillars of an elegant exit. And with that, I recommend that you start at least 5 years ahead. But every strategy that I teach helps you generate more revenue, streamline your operations. So whether you want to start 10 years ahead of time or more, in my view, it really doesn't matter because every strategy is helping you scale your business from the standpoint of revenue. A lot of women don't want their company to be bigger. And we start to understand that the bigger your company gets, you have a whole new set of problems.
Yes.
So my focus is on scaling your revenue, and which allows you to take more out of your company, pay yourself better, hire additional people if you want to, or pay your people extremely well. Again, because I work with experts, a lot of them have very expensive employees and highly trained, maybe highly specialized employees. And so because of that, a lot of their money goes into staff, which again is very appropriate as long as you are pricing well and attracting the right clients so that you're still profitable.
Right.
So that's a lot of the work that I do. And we're building all those business assets as we go. So at any point, one of the scariest things, and I talk with a lot of women about this, you may be only one diagnosis away from losing your business. And that is a real fear as we all age. And we hear other business owners who have had a cancer diagnosis, or their spouse has become ill, or they have a special needs child, or all of the real life situations that can impact us as business owners. And so that's why I put so much emphasis on preparation, because I lost my business when I had a surprise divorce. And I felt like that was a crime. So I really don't want that to happen to other women. It doesn't need to happen if you prepare.
Yeah, and I love that you're using your own experiences to help other people in who may be in similar situations, or who could, potentially avoid situations like you encountered in your business, and helping them with the preparation and the strategies and the organization and the growth and revenue focus, so that they can be profitable and successful over time. And I love that you use your own experiences to help other people. I think that's hugely important and a valuable asset that, as a business owner, you should have a focus on.
Thank you. It's at first it was really hard to talk about some of my experiences. And I think that's why it took me quite a long time to publish the book and to even be ready, because the book is part memoir and part business book. And sharing those stories that are very heartfelt, they're very, in many ways, private. But I felt as though sharing those stories is very powerful. And if it helps 3 people out there, it's worth it. And that's one of the challenges. I think we're so busy with what we have in front of us, especially as women, that thinking ahead and thinking about someday you will exit your company, whether it's voluntary or not. And planning for that and being prepared for that gives you a huge advantage. So that's why I focus, and it's why I'm so passionate about it.
Yeah, I love that. And let's talk about, we kind of touched on this in a roundabout way, but talk about how women balance the work and life aspect in running their business.
Well, it's a challenge for all of us at any stage. So you might have young children and be running your business, and there are all the challenges because you're pulled in so many different directions. Right now, for me, I'm in the stage where my children are grown, but I have experienced firsthand what it's like, and especially as a single mom and having 3 kids who outnumber you.
Yes,
it was a huge challenge. But and I've had people ask me, "How did you do it?" And I'll tell you, you do what you have to do, and that is the way we always operate as women. We do what we have to do, and we make decisions. I know I have made decisions that couldn't just be about what was good for me. It had to be about what was good for my children. And so, yes, we sacrifice. And I want to qualify something too. The broken cookie effect and how you can beat that is not about always putting yourself first. It's not about being selfish. It's not about putting others last. It is about finding the balance that you mentioned.
Yeah.
It's about understanding what your real value is, highlighting that, talking about that, and helping your buyers understand the value that you bring. And as women, we're not really good at doing that because we think we're bragging.
Yeah.
And I'm based in Texas. And in Texas, we have a saying that it's not bragging if it's true. And
I love that.
I grew up believing that. So it's not bragging when you're talking about your experience, your credentials, your education, your interactions with other clients.
Yeah.
When you're talking about your experiences and your lived experiences, that is very powerful. And your prospects and your clients will get it. They will understand it, and they will start to self-identify if they hear that you really understand where they are and what they're struggling with.
Yeah.
And that has worked really well for my business as I've talked more and more about my lived experiences and having worked with dozens and dozens and dozens of women business owners.
Yeah.
So because of that, I have that experience from seeing other companies in other industries and how they're balancing and coping. And it's always a challenge, regardless of the phase that you're in. It's always a challenge because as you get older, sometimes you then are taking care of your parents.
Yeah.
And that was my circumstance as well. I was helping my parents for almost 25 years. Wow. And so my generation is definitely the sandwich generation. And I experienced it in extreme ways and bring that experience to the work that I do. So my feeling is family always comes first, always.
Yeah.
And your clients will understand.
Yeah.
And your clients, if you have the right clients, they will understand and they will be supportive of you, and you can communicate honestly with them. And that has been my experience as well. My mom passed away very suddenly about a year ago. It was a huge shock. She wasn't ill. She wasn't even that old. And so, I needed to contact my clients. I needed to let certain people know that I was going to be out of pocket while I was handling all of her stuff and the funeral, of course, and everything else, and coordinating with my family. So, when you are working with people who respect you and value you, they will also understand because family comes first for them too.
Absolutely. Because you're aligned. People understand when you're open, honest, and vulnerable with other people, they're going to have a deeper connection and be more aligned with you personally, professionally, and like you said, have an understanding of what's important and be cognizant of that and happy to work with you in those times that may come up whenever those happen in our lives. It's circumstantial, right? Things happen and there's nothing we can do about it. We're all humans, but we do the best that we can in running the businesses that we have.
Right. And that, I think, is the key. There is no formula for balance. You have to figure it out for yourself. But I think when your business is running smoothly and is not causing you a lot of stress, it's easier to find that balance. And then, if you have, so I was taught this when my children were little, especially as they were acting out, going through the divorce, and everything was turning upside down. And one kid would be doing okay, and another kid would be kicking and biting me, right? And I would talk to my therapist about it, and she would say, yes, when there are multiple children, some will be up and some will be down, and it will continue like that until they're adults. And I wasn't thrilled to hear that, but then I understood the dynamic. And I think that dynamic applies in your business as well, that when your business is causing you a lot of stress, it's very difficult to focus on your home life and vice versa. And if you have a lot of stress in your home life, it's very difficult to focus on your business. So if you understand that there's an ebb and flow to life in general, and that is not a bad thing, it's part of our experience. And it helped me cope better. And I think as I work with clients, as I see, it's true for everybody that stress will come and go. And what we don't often have a lot of control over, just like my kids acting out, I didn't have control over that, but I do have control over my business. So figuring out what you can and cannot control and finding a balance that way, I have found works really well for me.
Patty, that is amazing. You've shared some wonderful insight and some nuggets of information that I know everybody can relate to, and hopefully go back and listen and pull out those pieces that they can relate to and learn from. How can people get in touch with you to connect with you and learn more about you?
Well, thank you. And thank you for having me.
Yes.
People can reach me at theblockgroup.net. You can reach me through my website. Also, if you would like, there are bonuses that are companion pieces for the book, and you can find those at yourhiddenadvantage.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being a guest. It's been a pleasure, and I hope you guys, go check everything out and pick up that book. I think it's going to be valuable, and you can definitely learn from it. So thank you again, Patty, for being a guest.
Thank you.